Grip safeties, what are they for? That's a good question. Depending on your point of view, as far as grip safeties are concerned, you either like them, you don't like them, or you're pretty much indifferent to them. And I think I would probably fall into that latter category. Excuse me, still trying to battle this cold a little bit, guys. I understand grip safeties, why they were originally used, why they're used now, and it doesn't bother me whether they're there or whether they're not. And I think a lot of that has to do with my manual of arms. But now there are some people out there that cannot stand them. I was watching a video this weekend, and I have watched several videos by this particular guy, and he makes some very valid points in most of his videos. He seems quite knowledgeable in a lot of areas. But the gentleman is extremely opinionated, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But they start believing their own hype. Folks that are like that tend to believe their own hype, and I think he kind of tends to believe his own hype a little bit. Now, I'm not questioning his experience or anything like that because I don't know the man, so I haven't been around him. I know I do like a lot of his videos and a lot of his suggestions, and I'm sure that some of the tactical classes that he teaches and some of the training he does is very informative. I wouldn't mind sitting in on them, a couple of them, because I'm interested in stuff like that. But the thing I have with people like that is when people tend to boast about how experienced they are about something. I don't know. My personal opinion is, okay, fine, but you know, why are you having to convince yourself? Okay, so come off it a little bit. But at any rate, I'm not going to get into a pissing contest with another YouTuber, like Pete had said earlier. I don't think that's a good idea. And God knows, if you guys been around the gun community for a while, geez, last year we had enough freaking damn drama to last a lifetime. We don't need no more of it. Let the shit go. God. You know, every now and then the people that started all that, you know, that like to start the drama, because I guess that's all they have in life, they try to fire it up again, try to get it going again, because I guess that's all they got. And now, some of them tried that again in February or in January. It didn't go very far. Pretty much fizzled out quick. And I think because most people ignored it, they're getting fucking sick and tired of it, and that's a good thing. So maybe people just drop the shit now and go on. But at any rate, I'm not going to belittle the guy here. If you know what video I'm talking about, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. But I don't agree with what he had said about 1911s all the way around. While my experience might not be as extensive as he claims his is, I've fired enough 1911s and I've fired enough different firearms in my life to form my own opinion. But one of the things that he mentioned, and this is what we're going to talk about, was grip safeties. He don't like grip safeties, and a lot of people don't. Most of the people, guys, that I have found that just cannot stand grip safeties are Glock homers. Now, let's get something understood right now, guys. If you love Glocks and Glock is your firearm of choice and you're just Glock, 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 left, right, up, down, every which way but loose, you know what, guys? That's fine. I have no problem with that, because here's a little secret. I love Glocks too. I like all guns. I'm a firearm guy. I love guns, period. Okay? So I love Glocks. I love XDs. I love XDs more than I love Glocks, because in my opinion, that's a superior weapon to this for certain reasons. Is it superior in its accuracy? Maybe not. Is it superior in its reliability? Probably not. But it's superior because it's, in my opinion, a much safer firearm to carry than this one. All right? Period. Mainly because of this right here. So let's get into why I feel that way. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. And that's fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not getting into a pissing contest here, because I love Glocks too. But the reason for a grip safety, guys, is they originally started out on the 1911s. As a matter of fact, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. Craig over at Mr. Colt 45 ACP would know this better than me. But if I'm not mistaken, grip safeties originated on the 1907 version. Okay? And they were incorporated into the 1911 because it was primarily going to be a military firearm. And they wanted something, since it was, since it was going to be carried, sloshed around by cavalry, banged around, maybe hung on a lariat or whatever the case might be. They wanted something in case the thumb safety came off of it, that it still wouldn't fire unless you had a proper grip. So they incorporated the grip safety to keep it from firing accidentally if the thumb safety came off and you didn't have a grip on the firearm. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's the way I understand it to be. Same thing today. The reason that this grip safety exists is to make sure that you have a proper hold of the firearm before it will actually fire. One of the classes I went to, force on force training, there was a guy in there. He was, I'm not going to say he was a novice, but he wasn't a very experienced gun user. Okay, and it was one of the defensive pistol classes. And I sat in on it, and one of the I didn't participate, but I was sitting in. But one of the things that was part of that class was that it was how fast you could grab your firearm or your pistol and shoot. Okay, it was a speed drill. Okay, it was a stressful speed drill where you had to quickly grab your firearm, either draw it from your holster, mostly from your holster, from your grip, or from your hip, or wherever it was at, and fire the weapon. Now these have been cleared. Okay, nothing in them. He had a Glock, and it was I think it was a 23. It was a 40 caliber. I don't think it was a 22. It could have been. But he had a Glock. He grabbed hold of it and he fired. And when he did, he had a grip on it about like that. And when he fired that thing, he didn't have much of a grip on it at all, and it came backwards out of his hand. All right. Would he have been able to do the same thing with an XD? That's my question. Okay. I doubt it, because this one has been cleared as well. Because if you had grabbed it much in the same manner that he had grabbed that before, down low, it wouldn't have fired. Okay? It won't fire until this is depressed. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect grip. That's not a perfect grip, but it's on there enough to make it fire. Okay? But it has to make sure that you have enough of a grip on the gun to where you can control it. This one, it doesn't. You can hold it like this and shoot it. Okay, you can hold it like this and shoot it. You can hold it like this and shoot it, which I don't know why I would, or anybody would. Okay, but it'll fire as long as you depress this trigger safety, it's going to shoot. Now, a lot of people will say that's a good thing because it'll fire every time you pull the trigger. If you are somebody that has that mind frame, fine. But here's what a lot of people like that will tell me whenever I tell them the story of how this guy grabbed this, fired it, and it flew out of his hand. Well, you're supposed to make sure you have a good grip before you hold it and before you pull the trigger, because then that wouldn't have ever happened. So he was just a dumbass for doing that. You just took yourself completely out of the argument. This, make sure you have a good grip before you pull the trigger. It's a little bit more forgiving of a fuck up. All right. Now, there have been a lot of people out there, and I'm a big advocate of this too. If you're a first-time firearm owner, you're a novice, you're not very experienced, Glock is not for you right off the bat. Okay. You don't need to go buy one of these first off. You need to get something like this. All right. And the reason being is because of just what I said. It's a little bit less, it's more forgiving of a fuck up. All right? Now, a lot of people may argue, well, by the time you got that right, you'd be dead. Well, maybe, but I think I would much rather have the gun in my damn hand than having it fly out, okay, after being shot. Glocks, guys, were originally designed for professionals. They were designed for professionals in mind. When they first started designing Glocks, they were not initially, they were not initially going to be released to the public. They were going to be specifically for LEOs and military. So professional people that have experience with guns, that know how to handle them. People that have enough experience with them to know to grab to have a good grip on it and have a good manual of arms before they shoot. Okay? They didn't decide to go ahead and release them to the public until not too long before mass production went into effect. These guns took all of that into effect. The XD took all of that into effect, and in my opinion, this is an improvement on this. All right? Now, if you're a Glock, like I said, if you're a big Glock homer, you're going to disagree with me, and that's fine. If you love Glocks more than anything else, great. I don't. Okay? I love Glocks, but I prefer XDs. All right? This one shoots better. The recoil is less. The grip feels better. It's just a whole bit. And yeah, this is a 3rd generation. I know the 4th generation takes the grip issue a little bit better. But still, XDs are excellent. And they're there. So, if you're a first-time gun owner and you're getting your first one, if you were to ask me which one of these I think you should get first, of these two, I would recommend this one. But I would also tell you, you need to hold them in your hand. If it's possible, you need to fire them both. You need to make your own decision. But I would recommend to a novice to get something like this first because it is safer to carry. All right? Now, on the other thing, you have a proper manual of arms. When this is up here like this, guys, you don't even notice this dadgum. You don't even notice it. You never know it's there. So people that claim that it might not go off if you don't have it right, I think that's a cop-out excuse. And here I'm going to say this right here, and this might make a lot of people pissy, and it does not apply to a lot of people. But there are some Glock homers out there, I swear to God, guys, and you can doubt me on this, but it's true, don't doubt me. If Glock came out tomorrow with a model that had a grip safety on it, they'd be like, oh, that's the greatest thing they ever did. See, they realized their mistake. They realized that they needed to go ahead and make that advancement. They did it. See how wonderful Glock is. It's the best thing that ever happened. I guarantee you there's people out there that would do that. So, there it is. Bottom line, guys, these are both fantastic firearms. It's not a comparison between the two, but there's a lot of people out there that bust on this and bust on grip safeties. Guys, I have fired guns with grip safeties and without. I have never, ever found anyone that says that they had trouble with a grip safety that had proper manual of arms. That's it. Okay? Maybe you have. Maybe you have had trouble with them. I don't know. But I never have had. And I've fired 1911s, I've fired XDs, I've fired SIGs, I've fired Berettas, I've fired Glocks, I've fired M&Ps, I've fired Smith & Wessons, other Smith & Wessons, I've fired Rugers, you name it. I've shot them all. But I've never had the grip safety being an issue unless it malfunctioned, okay? Unless it was broken in some way, never gave me an issue. Not one time. All right, guys, that's all I got. I don't want this to get too long. Just kind of throwing some food for thought out there, but that's the reason for it. Grip safeties are there for a reason. If you exercise proper manual of arms, they're not a problem. You'll never notice them. Plus, a gun like this will help teach you proper manual of arms faster. It's a little more forgiving of a fuck up than this. This, great weapon. Fantastic. But if you, it's not very forgiving. If you don't hold it right, it's still going to go bang. So you need to keep that in mind if you choose this one. That's all I got, guys. Throw it out there and see what happens, and there we are. Talk to you later.